Hi there, I'm Dave Koch. Welcome back to my channel, and we are in the middle of editing a commercial interior. As you may recall, we started with 7 layers, seven, and combined all those layers till we got one good final. That final was then saved back as one layer into Lightroom, and that's where we're going to start off. So off to Lightroom. And here we are. There's our single layer. I have already done all the verticals on this, but just to double check, let's go ahead and put those on there. I think this is probably our best right-hand vertical. Our best left is probably this. So let's go right there. And I'm going to go in this. Okay, let's see. There. Got to make sure you're doing the same line all the way down. There we go. And then as a horizontal, this should be horizontal. And this should be. I didn't see any major jumps, so I'm guessing we already had this pretty squared up. So there we go. Now, I don't like to make changes like removing sprinkler heads and lights and things like that until we get one good final image, because otherwise you're going to have to erase it off of multiple layers. And if the layers are um, have a zero or a variable opacity, you have to do it on yeah, it's just a mess. So I like to do all that, combine it, get it down to one good image, and then start doing all your messing around with all the minutia of it. So this is now ready for minutia tackling. So let's just send this over to the Photoshops, and we do this edit with Lightroom adjustments. And then the next thing we know, it should magically be a Photoshop image. All right, we are going to start with the thing that's annoying me the most, and that's this sensor hair. I just have been dying to get rid of that. And I'm using the remove tool, which against a fairly flat, even background like this is going to work perfectly. So let's just go ahead and start removing stuff. And missed a spot there. Be a little corner right there too. There we go. And this needs to go. There's a little bit of glare on the railing. Oh, it fixed the railing. The railing's now nice and straight. I was going to fix that railing if it didn't. I also see something else here. It's again very small, but a little white tag there. I'm going to take that out so it looks nice and clean. You know, while we're here and zoomed in, remember how I didn't get these, ends of the light fixtures, but I just got the lights? I do like the way that ends up looking. It gives it a little bit of contrast and zip and all that. When you remove this, make sure to remove the halo and get as wide around it as you can. So since there's nothing really here that we have to worry about, we can go really wide and make sure that we get that. Although, you know what? I'm just thinking, hang on. Oh, that's funny. I just realized I had those spill from the valence lights on that wooden thing. I don't want to remove those lights because we've already shown that those lights are there. And see how this corresponds to that and this corresponds to that. I don't think I want to remove that light. So let's go ahead and do that. Now, I've got an idea. I've never done this before, but I'm going to try it here. Let's make a copy of this. Let's go in this and I don't like the glare around it. And so I'm going to cut out just the lamps, the fixtures, the valences, whatever you want to call them. Um, You'll see in a minute what I'm thinking. And we'll just see if this is fun or not. I think in the last episode I did something where I ended up not liking it, and that's fine. You know, a lot of times you will go in here, get an idea, and you'll execute it, and it doesn't work. And you know what? There's nothing wrong with that. That's why we edit in layers so that we can reverse, because it isn't always right away that you're going to notice that you don't like it. If it's something that was 20 or 30 edits ago, you can generally correct by going back to another layer and bringing it back up on top and reinstituting whatever it is you took out, especially if you don't want to control Z through 400 steps when you've done some other really tricky things in the middle of it. So always good to do everything on separate layers like I'm doing here, and be able to reverse out of things that you may or may not like. Okay, so what I've done, I have selected the three lights. I'm going to put a mask on that. So now all we're seeing from this layer is those lights. Now I'm going to close that layer and go back to this layer, and we're going to go back and we're going to remove all the lights. And the really smart among you may already know what I'm thinking, which is stretching thinking, I think. But you know, we can just get rid of all these in one fell swoop. Come on. Oh, that was horrible. Let's not do that. Let's try just these. And then let's try and get rid of that glow right there. I do not like that glow. I saw that while the last repair was going on. So, okay, that's close enough. I will fix that. Let's get rid of these. No, I have not forgotten. I know where we're going. Okay, we're going to use the clone tool. I'm going to make it fairly big. I really like when I've got a nice line or something like this to work with. So we'll just go right on that line. And now we'll get right there. That doesn't look so good. So what we can do is we can do this and select so we only go right up to that line, and then take that line out. So we'll just again use the clone tool, go right there, go right up to that line. And now when we go out, we should not see that. Let's deselect. All right, that needs a little bit more cleanup. Again, let's just go back to the repair tool and see what that does. I'm going right up. I don't want to get that line, but I want to go right up to it. Let's see what that does. Okay, that looks really good. Okay, now you thought I forgot about those lights, didn't you? This is why we put it on a separate layer. Let's turn them on. 3, 2, 1. Ah, look at that. There they are with no glare and looking sweet. So that does work. I like that. I really do like that. Off, on. And yeah, that all makes sense and that all looks clean. You know what? I think let's go back. Okay, I want to be on the background layer. Don't want to do anything on the just lights layer. And I think we need to clean up a little bit of this white right in there. That should, I hope, fix that. Yeah, that works. All right. Now let's zoom in here. Pretty much all of this you have to do way zoomed in. And I'm going to be using the repair tool a lot, or the remove tool, whatever. This tool, the one that takes a while. This, you know, things that stand out that, yeah, I try and get rid of those. Anything bright, I try and lose. anything that stands out is bad. Okay, there. This looks to me like shipping boxes behind here. So let's see if we can just even these out so that we're not seeing labels and things like that. Yeah, that should keep that line there. Yeah, perfect. See, that's going to look a lot better than all those labels showing through. That's definitely a UPS label, isn't it? Get rid of that. And if you watched the last, well, not the last video on this image, but the last image from this shoot, you know how anal retentive I am about cement. All right, we got a lot of things back here to get rid of. That little white label or whatever that is. I don't know what that is. Don't know what that is. Don't care. That's a post office box. Get rid of that. There we go. See, this remove tool is just magic. I love this. Lots of little splotches to get rid of. Whoops. What did I do there? Don't like that. See, as soon as I outline something and get rid of it, I'm like already on to the next thing I want to remove. This sign. I'm going to take this out, I think. I don't mind the black part of it, but so how do I decide what I'm going to get rid of and what I don't want to get rid of? I look at first, distractions have to go. Anything like this that may or may not be a distraction, but really, you know, would take if it's going to take a lot of work, I'm probably going to avoid it unless it really is a distraction. And if it looks like it's going to take a lot of time to repair, I have to look at, how much am I being paid to fix this? And if it's more than I think I should be investing in it, yeah, it doesn't get fixed. These lights here are back far enough. I'm not going to mess with those. And then these, let's see, which are the real lights? I think that is. So that goes. That goes. And I'm looking to make sure that the pattern of this grill remains. I don't want to see that get screwed up. I don't like that little bit peeking out, even though it is a correct light and is showing right there. I think we can lose that without really destroying the picture. And that little bit of white peeking out bothers me. I don't like things being cut off. I either like to see them or I like to see 75% of them, but I don't like to see like 10% of anything. So there we go. That's why there's a light on the upper left. I know we're going to be getting rid of. And it's the same thing. We're only seeing, 3%, 5%, 10% of it. And I'd rather see it not there. Or I'd rather not see it there. That's what I meant. Yeah. All right. Let's go to a wide shot after this and see how we're doing. See, these boxes look a lot better without those labels on it. If I didn't have these reflections right here, I'd even think about just making these like all frosted. Maybe I'll make this all frosted glass all the way down. That's kind of borderline taking up too much time, though. I do think we can clean up down here. Yeah, that'll. Oh, that did not clean up easily. Let's try this. Let's cut that in like that. And let's just use this to bring it over. There we go. Bingo. You know, it's important to have a lot of different techniques to do a lot of different things because different things work better for different fixes. I have a personal hate of brochures, so I just take these out because that's how I am. Here's another one of those. We're only seeing 5 to 10% of something, and it adds nothing to the image, so we're going to lose that. Stain on the cement, you know how I feel. Those have got to go. Dirt on the rug, got to go. Ooh, ooh. You know, maybe I should start singing. You want me to sing? No, I'm not going to sing. I would not do that to you. Let's get a little wider. Yeah, that's kind of got to go. Boy, the computer is really running slow today. Let's go over here. See where I'm at. Yeah, I'm not pushing memory. Let's see if I'm pushing CPU. Yeah. Yeah. Nothing looks like it's the reason for it. It's just sluggish today. Maybe it's kind of a gloomy, nasty day. Maybe that has something to do with it. Okay, I am going to get these splotches. I was going to go ahead and clean up this black rubbery thing, but I think I've got a better idea for how I'm going to repair that. See that dirt right in there? I was going to take all that out, but I think I know something that's going to make it look cooler. One thing I like about it is it's, again, nice straight lines. So what does that make me think of? Makes me think of the select tool. So watch what we're going to do. This is going to be pretty fun. We are going to grab the select tool and we're going to start up here. We're going to come down to here. We're going to go across. Then we're going to come back and select all of it. And then holding down the shift key, we'll add this to the selection. All right, and then we're going to pull up the curves tool, and then we're going to use the curves tool to bring it down and make it blacker. Oh, we still see some of it, but you know what? That really does look pretty cool. Yeah, I guess we're going to have to do some more repair right in there. And I think I keep trying to repair something there. It's dirt on my monitor. This is not dirt on my monitor. All right, that looks nice and clean. What do you think? Yeah, Microsoft didn't pay to be there. They're bye-bye. All right, let's go out the window. This sign is icky. This sign is icky. And I didn't like that repair, so we're going to repair that again. And we're probably going to repair that again. All right, that looks good. Now we're going up here. Take that reflection out. I realize that's the mounting point for a light, but nobody's going to know whether it was there or not. That, if that doesn't continue with that dark line right there, okay, it did, so we don't have to do it, but I was going to get rid of that. This little ghost of a line, I'm going to fix. I'm going to select so I don't go too far. And then I'm just going to take this, the clone tool, and I'm going to clone right over into it and just get rid of it. There we go. There. And whatever that is going to be gone in a second. Deselect. There we go. Go back to the remove tool. That's gone. This obviously is gone. This will be gone. This will be gone. You know where we're going. So what do you think? These dark spots at the bottom, I kind of feel, let's go like that and see what happens. Yeah, I think they're gone. Looks like there's, makes me think that there's dead bugs or something in the bottom of them. So I don't like those. Oh, this bad boy. Yeah. Let's zoom out just a teeny bit so we can see the whole thing. This has to all go, but I think this should be fairly clean in its removal. So I like to draw the whole outline, make sure you get those shadows. Don't want those shadows in there. Shadows will give away that you've removed something if you don't take those out too. There we go. That was easy. Don't know what that is, but that looks kind of ugly. Dead bugs. Bye-bye. All right. And then we talked about this light in the upper left-hand corner. That's easy to get rid of. And then I'm probably going to just get rid of this one too. I don't think it needs to be there. And I think, let's look at it wide. See, it's kind of clunky right there. Yeah, don't like what that does. So there's a couple ways to do it. Let's start with remove tool. If that doesn't get it and get it well, then it'll get it close enough that we can, with the clone tool, patch it up and make it look good. Yeah, that's what I was afraid of we'd get. We've got it pretty good, but not perfect. So we'll just get a decent size clone tool, go right on that line, line it up and continue the line. And you have to reassess where that line is when you've got lines that are going off because they they're not parallel. They spread a little bit like that. So if you line up on this one line going this way, the next line's off just a little bit. So you have to reline up for every line there like that. See how that didn't quite line up because they're not parallel, they're um, diverging. There we go. There we go. That cleans that up nicely. All right. You know what? We are almost done with this. Um, how does that look cleanup wise? Looks a lot better than it did, doesn't it? There's two more things that I'm seeing that I want to do. This spot keeps bothering me and it makes sense. It should be there, but you know what? It draws the eye. So I'm going to paint it out. I'm going to make it dark, like this color. The reason I didn't use the remove tool, I wasn't quite sure what the remove tool might do there. So I thought I would do it myself. Okay, the two things that are left that are bothering me are all of these light sockets. A lot of them have color from previous layers. And these two go yellow. These two just don't look right either. I'm going to select them all and then desaturate all of them. Let's go wide. I know there's a couple more, aren't there? Yep, these three up here. So those two, these three, and then that should be it. And then we'll desaturate them. And then I will probably, these couple that are black, I'm probably just going to lighten those. There's only a couple. I might paint over them, or I might just put them in a curves layer. I'm not quite sure. We might be testing both. All right, so that selects all those, and you can see they're kind of yellow and they don't make sense. So hue saturation layer, and we're just gonna, since we're being very specific and targeted in what we've selected, we can just take the saturation way down and not affect anything else. And that works. And then let's go ahead and make a new layer. And I'm just going to copy that same layer because why waste time selecting layers again? I don't need to do those two. So I'm going to take and paint those black. And I'm going to take the flow up to 100% so I know they're painted black and they won't be affected by this. And then that one, but the back one, I do want affected. So now let's try painting. So we'll select the color from there and we'll go to this layer, the layer that we're, as the layer that we're painting on. And there, that fixed that up pretty good. Let's see, what does that do? All right, so I've created a new layer that I'm going to paint on, and then I'll just copy over the layer that selects all the junction boxes or whatever. And I can take black and paint over the ones that I don't want. I've taken my flow back up to 100% so that these get blocked out really quickly. There we go. And it's the other ones that I want to color. So I go to the main layer and I pick the color that I want. And, that's a good color there. So let's use that. Let's paint on this layer I just put there. And see, it kind of blocks that whole thing out. But you know what? There are ways to fix that. And then there's one down here, that one. Yeah. Actually, let's do a different color. Let's go a little darker. There we go. All right, so let's look at these again. And that's normal paint mode. That's fine. But we'll go to color, saturation. We'll go through these. Lighten, screen. Okay, screen looks really good. We've gotten the definition and the little biddly bits there. Now let's take the opacity down to where it looks real. And there, we've fixed those. They're no longer those black holes. They look natural and we haven't lost any of the definition in them. So there we go. Here in the wide shot, they're gone, they're back. All right, our last thing, again, we're going to create a layer and we're going to put a selection on that. And what we're going to do is we're going to light this light. And I promise not to sing Come On Baby Light My Fire as much as I want to. I really want to, boy, why do I want to sing so bad? So we just select that. We've got nice straight lines. That makes it easy. think I went over this in the last full image from this on how to do this, but this is how you do it. This is not how you do it for a Twilight picture. I'll show you kind of, I'll give you the idea for how to do this for a Twilight picture, but this is how you would do it here. You start, and I always try and pick colors from the image. So I've selected just the light, and I hit mask, and now just the light can be painted. So I start with my paintbrush, get the flow back down really low, and I pick one of the darker yellows, but a yellow from the image so that it matches. And I do that. Oh, I've got to be on this layer. Let's double check that. Okay, so I'm going to have to Control Z. There we go. All right. So now I'm there, and I'm picking this color right there, and just kind of as a whole, lighting that whole thing. Now we're going to go to a much brighter color, and we're going to go to a much smaller radius paintbrush. And that way we've got a graduation. We go to a nice bright light, and look at your other one so that you know where this goes. It goes there, and it goes up there, and that's how you make it work. Again, like the last one, we lost a little definition in there. So let's go back to screen and see what screen doesn't work. Lighten does work. There we go. So now we've lit that. Now, had this been a Twilight, you kind of get a glow around it too. So what you do is after this, you put another layer on top and go to a real light color and a real slow flow. And then you draw like concentric circles around it like this to kind of get that glow look. So that is how you do that. Anyway, that looks pretty well cleaned up. I am seeing this looking really dirty up there. So I'm going to use the magic selection tool, select all that, and then that way I can make a correction that's not going to affect everything. So I'm just going to pick this color right there, make this really big like that. The matte will fix it, and then this should even that out. Now, and then you know what? It took out some of those wires. So because I made a matte, I can make this a little smaller, and I can go draw those lines back in. There we go. And actually, if I go to the screen again, will that do? Yeah, there we go. That looks pretty good. Let's look at our wide shot again. Okay, that's looking pretty even. I think the color temperatures are, you know, they're generally within range. I haven't made it sterile by making it stark white. I've allowed some color into it and some color fluctuation. I've taken just about all the distractions out. Let's go. That doesn't look so hot. There's something else I was thinking about. I think I know what it is. Let's get this cleaned up first, and then we'll go look at it. I don't like that line right there. If this doesn't do it, and it might not, we're going to do it with the clone. Yep, we're going to do it with the clone. So we're just going to start there, and first we're going to clean that up, and then there, and we'll pick this, clean that up. There we go. A lot better. All right. Oh, look at that. Ooh, bad. Look at that bright thing right there. Yeah, just make that go away. All right. What about these reflections up here? That's really the only one I have to worry about. I think, okay, here's what I'm going to do. I've got a really good image. I don't want to jeopardize this image. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to hit F3 and I'm going to make a compressed image. Now, all those changes that we've made, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, whatever layers, are all compacted onto this one layer 5 now. That way, if I screw up, I can go back. But I'm going to go ahead and try the not the yeah, the remove tool here. I'm going to see if I can get this reflection gone and how good it looks. If I can get that one, I'll do this one by hand. Yeah, you know what? That is almost good enough. That's small enough in the background, nobody's going to see it. Whatever that is has to go. Yeah, there we go. Um, yeah, I think nobody's going to know. Let's try it. Let's give the remove tool a shot at immortality right here. What can you do for me today, Adobe? You know what? That's a good fix. We're going to go in and clean that up just a little bit more. And I'm going to take the clone stamp thingy, Jubacha, Kumbacha. There's a line right there. We'll get rid of that. Let's get rid of that wrinkle that looks like it was copied from somewhere else. Let's bring this over like that and take that out. Remove that color, remove that color. See, I don't mind that. There we go. And let's go ahead and put a selection around it so that we don't do too much, but I want to go right up to it. All right, let's continue. All right, and you know what? That really didn't work too well, did it? Right there. Maybe we can hide it. There we go. That looks pretty good. All right. And let's remove this selection. Is it Command D? Yeah. There we go. I think we've got pretty much a final image. Dang, that was a lot of work. Okay, I see a couple more things. Um, I do spend a lot of time looking back at it and just letting my eye just go all over because you will always find things that you need to fix. And up here is what I'm seeing now. I'm going to go back to the remove tool. That can be gone. That little bright spot. That little bright spot. Those little dots. Okay, now we are getting anal retentive, aren't we? That's scratch. But you know what? In all seriousness, at commercial, this is what you got to do. At least I feel that you have to do this. You have to really get in and just perfect that image. You know, they're paying a lot of money for good images, and you know, there's no such thing as a perfect shoot, and You make it perfect here. And a lot of this stuff really doesn't matter. I'm getting really into the weeds here, but I'm so zoomed in. I'm just making sure that all this disappears. I mean, does that even really matter? No, but I'm going to take it out. All right. Oh, take that out. All right. I think we've got a very fine image here. I think this has turned out really, really well. I'm going over it again. I'm not seeing any real problems or anything. So I would say that is something I would send to a client. So there we go. I hope you got something out of this. It sure was a lot of fun to do. It's been what, an hour and a half for the whole thing, and I did 12 images. So, yeah, so a couple of days editing. Like I said, I enjoy doing this. I don't know why. It does get tedious and it does get kind of yeah. I hate being stuck in this room for so long, but when it's done and you look at an image like this, and I just go, wow, that is that is sweet. I'm very happy with that. Oh, another problem. Let's zoom in right here. Look at that. How did I not see that? All right, let's get you, and we'll go a little bit bigger. There's something else I see once I've zoomed in here. Okay, that works. There. And maybe there. All right. Okay, here's a final bit of parting advice. When you get to this point, give your eyes a rest. Your eyes, they're not muscles, but they're like muscles. And I've been using them, using them, using them. And especially when you're doing delicate color work, when you're this close to the screen and you're focusing on it, your eyes get tired like muscles. So they're not muscles, but they need a rest. That's I guess what I'm saying. When you get to this point, call it a day, save it, go do something else for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, a day, 2 days, and come back to this image in 2 days, and you'll pick up a couple of more things to do that final tuning on. With commercial, we've got that much time. We don't need to send this to the client tomorrow. We've got, 2 weeks to return the images. And I highly suggest that you use that time to allow your eyes to breathe and relax, and then come back to the image and revisit it and do what you need to do then. So there you go, my final bit of advice after being Dave the anal retentive editor in Photoshop. Anyway, I do hope you've learned something. If you did, please like and subscribe. It really helps. If you have any questions or comments, down in the comments below. And if you would have done it something better, faster, stronger, whatever, let me know. I'd love to learn new techniques. I think that's why I made this channel, so I can share my techniques with you. And if you'd like to share yours right back at me, I would love to hear them. So thank you very much again. Like I said, I really do hope you get something out of this, and may your next shoot be your best shoot.